here is my folder yet again. It's near, well, it is very seriously nearing completion now. This was my 31 a day in March granny squares, all different ones, made using the Granny Square card book, and I also purchased the floral one, which I will show shortly. I've used this one because it was a 3D one, and it's going to be my sort of showpiece, and it's going to incorporate the fastening. Craftex is the paper that I die cut it from, as you can see, and I stitched it on the sewing machine, hand bound with the elasticated method, the signatures, and they were all made from calico, which I cut, stitched all around to prevent fraying, and gradually I was going to stitch all of these in, but I'm afraid I soon gave up on that idea, as it proved to be rather more of a labour of love than I wanted to carry on with. It became far too fiddly. I soon realised after attempting the first couple. Glue gun, hot glue gun, worked an absolute treat, and they've been in now and handled quite a lot, and none have lifted up or anything. They've stuck brilliantly. So the hot glue gun was my saviour for that. And then I had in the centre pages, I just popped these card, just simply to make a note of each one and its corresponding place, as to what it was called and the number of it in the card deck, the Claire Montgomerie Card Deck. And obviously when I make anything from using these particular designs, I will note it in here. Take no notice of my handwriting. I blame learning Pitman shorthand many years ago, and my handwriting never recovered, despite being sent to the head teacher for cursive handwriting lessons. But there we are, that's another story. I ran out of, I was originally going to do the blue and white so that showed the different designs up quite clearly, but I did in fact run out of that, and I did not have any more, apart from I have this tiny little piece left, which is what I'm going to use to make the fastening with. So I went on to this yarn. So again, quite a big contrast, so you can see the different designs quite easily, and they really are lovely. The different designs of granny squares, circles, then going into squares. Really lovely designs, super. I like this one a lot. There we are. So I have room to put 3 more, so I don't know whether I will add anything there. We'll wait and see. I'm not sure. And because this was obviously going to be such a thick folder, I used the sort of strap type attachment, and I just simply cut it out twice, doubled it, stitched that together so that it would move quite easily over to the front. Right, so I'm now going to crochet the sort of fastening mechanism, and I will do that here directly onto the strap. so there wouldn't be any need for any specific fastenings. So there we go, bring that through, and we'll have it nice and sturdy on there. I'm just bringing in my yarn across like that, so that, oh, this is what I mean, having the yarn, the loose tail across the working thread, so that I won't have to do any weaving in of stitches, which I have to confess I find rather a laborious job, as I'm sure many of us do, and we're always trying to find ways to cut that aspect of the crochet down. Put it in like that, and then continue just doing simple chains. I'm using a clover crochet hook here. It is my hook of choice. I've tried so many over the years, and I find these are just perfect for me. I know everyone has to find the one that suits them, and it is this one I'm using is a 2.25mm because I want it to be really tight, so that it acts nicely for the task in hand. I don't want it loose, I want it like a nice cord almost. It doesn't need to be bulky. There we are. Just keep going until I reach the right amount. And what I'm aiming to do is to go around here, and then I'm just simply going to wrap it around, and this flower, this 3D flower, which is worked onto the base stitches here, will act as a holding place to keep it all together. And that looks like I'm not going to be too far off. Probably the same amount again, I would think. So I will battle on with this. And everybody has a different way of working crochet and how they hold their hooks. I find this is just simply my most comfortable method. I've been doing that probably for 50 odd years, so I don't think I'm going to change that now. And just do, I always say, just do whatever is best for you, whatever is most comfortable. I have to confess I'm getting a little bit of arthritis now in my thumb, which is not helping the matter, but these things happen and we find a way around them, don't we? There we go. So I think that is going to be sufficient. There we go. Although I'm just thinking, shall I do that? I'm thinking as I go here. Actually, it's either that, right the way round wrapped, or if I do that, just simply do that. Is that going to be? I think that is going to be sufficient. No, my first thought. There we are. So I am now going to fasten off. Pull that tight. I can simply snip the one on the tail end, and I will work this one in shortly, although to be honest I'm not even sure if that's necessary, but I might put, in fact I think I might thread a little bead onto here to add some weight to it, which I think is what I shall do. There we are. So there we go. Yeah, I'm going to put a bead on here and then tie that off, and that is my folder finished. A resource book of Granny Square samples. And the Granny Square flowers card deck and the Granny Square card deck. These were used in the making of this. Thank you for looking. Now is my finished folder, completely finished. Instead of the bead idea that I had, I popped this little button on, which I think looks quite cute. I happen to like dogs, so I'm a dog lover, and it also matches very nicely. So there we go. Wrap around, and that gives it just a little bit of weight on the bottom there. My finished folder, and that was completed using designs from the Granny Square card deck, Claire Montgomerie. There we are. And her next one, the Granny Square Flowers card deck, again by Claire Montgomerie. And the folder itself all was completed using the Eileen Hull scoreboards die 661906, which I definitely recommend. I shall be using this folder a great deal. Anyway, thank you for watching.